me? No? Okay. All right, I just want to start out and say thank you for being here. My name is Clem. I'm the Executive Vice President of ASCWU. You are at the debates for the ASCW candidates for this upcoming year. Just a heads up, voting for the general elections is Monday, May 8th, which is next Tuesday. Be sure to vote. It opens at 8, I believe, and closes at 10. Yeah? I want to introduce our moderators, Dave Collins and Pierce Appline. Dave on the left, Colin on the, your right, my left, and then Pierce Appline. Just a little background on these guys. As a team, they were quarterfinalists at the Idaho State Invitational and represented Eastern Washington University at the National Championships at the University of Oklahoma. Individually, Dave is a former junior college national champion, and Pierce will be moving on to Cal Berkeley next year for debates. Just to give you guys a heads up, there is a raffle over there, so anyone is free to join. Winner will be selected for Kindle Fire. How the debate will work, if you guys each have this pamphlet, we'll start with the council positions, and then we'll move on to the executives. And we will begin with academic affairs. So you guys can come on up here if you're academic affair representative.
All right, just so everyone's clear, the format for this debate for the council positions will be a 1-minute speech responding to questions that we have, followed by a 2-minute rebuttal by the opponent, and then a 1-minute chance to reply to that rebuttal, and then we'll ask another question of the different candidate, and then they'll switch. I think y'all will get a feel for how it goes. We're going to hold up these cards here with the different times. Yellow indicates 30 seconds remaining, and red is 10. Okay, so let's start with the candidate to our immediate left. What would be your strategic plan to assure the library continue with the plans for, by 2014, going to a 24-hour, 5-day-a-week library by 2014?
Okay. Well, first of all, as everyone that used the library later on at night last year, or not last year, but last quarter, knows that we got a lot of people there, which thanks to Oscar for getting that set up so we can show that we actually care about the library. And probably the best thing to do would be to continue that and slowly increase it, and well, to make sure the funding's high enough that if we have the money to get a skeleton crew of some kind in the library, like all we need is just a small group of people enough to make sure that it can continue running, that there's not going to be any troubles, and if we can continue that with funding and basically just staffing, that's all that's really needed in order to get it going and continuing for the 2014, which is pretty much only just a year from now. So pretty much other than that, I guess find out what student input says, like if we need it 24 hours or if we'd be better off like stopping at 3 and waking up at 7, because I know some people will.
That's time.
Okay.
And your rebuttal, and please introduce yourself as well.
I'm Kylie Chapman. Okay. Like Jordan said, I did see a lot of students use the library during finals week for when it was open till midnight, and I know that was extremely useful for those students. So basically, my long-term goal would be to have the library open 24 hours, but as for now, I want to just extend the library hours, and I feel like that would increase the overall GPA. To do this, one of my bylaws is for me to, I'm required to communicate with 3 times per quarter with the academic senate chair. So I would do that, and I'd communicate that with them more if it's necessary to reach the goals and accomplish what the students' needs are.
And your rebuttal.
Yeah, I fully agree. GPA up with, if we can find out the GPA goes up because of the library being open, then that's a big boost in funding. Because like if we show that we actually use it and that the GPA is steadily going up because we're using it, then it's obvious that we're going to be able to get more money put into that and all that. And I've been on the SNA fee, so I know that it's not the same thing, but like if we show, since we show that everyone enjoys athletics, which gets a lot of money, then hopefully we can get some academic money put in there too, not from SNA of course because it's not a student it shouldn't be student-based in order to use the library. But definitely just the state funding or whatever, because it's just really important that if the students are using it and we need it, then we have it whenever we need it. Especially since it's the library, like some of the other places are a little bit less needed, but still should be open. But the library, especially if you're doing research or just want to print something off at night, then it's good to have it open all day. All right, thank you.
Okay. Now, for the candidate to our right, how would you address concerns that students have with the math department, including the elimination of the graduate program in mathematics?
Okay, well, if some people don't know, the master's program in math is being cut out, basically because the graduation rates are extremely low. And for undergraduate programs in Math 103, 104, and 114, those classes have a very high failure rate because of those classes are being taught by graduate students that are in these master programs. So basically, again, I would just represent the students that are in the math department as well as I could, and I would just communicate with administration and math department as necessary to continue with these goals. And I feel like, in my opinion, we need to start with a strong foundation in the undergraduate math department to see success in the master's program and the overall math department.
And your rebuttal?
Okay, yeah, I fully agree. That because we don't have the graduate program anymore, we won't have grad students teaching our math classes, which is pretty much a big boost in everything. And one of the things that goes along with that, though, is that we're going to have a lot of professors that they're really high-level professors, and admittedly, if you are a doctorate, if you have a doctorate in mathematics, then obviously you know what you're doing, but that may not mean that you know how to teach it. So what's important is that we not only have doctors and tenured professors that know how to do the mathematics, but can also explain it clearly and all that. I actually took 211 and 212 this last 2 quarters, and in those classes you explain why you do how you do the math and why you do it, like in order to teach it. So it's kind of important that we make sure that our professors, that we won't have grad students anymore, which the grad students may not have been as high level as the professors, so they may have still remembered that math wasn't the easiest thing ever. And so we just have to make sure that if we can get our graduates or post-grads to like the post-grad, like master's and higher, to remember that mathematics is not the easiest thing to do and that you actually have to go through it and will understand it, then I think we'll be better off that way.
And 1 minute for concluding remarks.
Just basically, same with Jordan said, we need these graduate students to be able to teach these undergraduate classes. So just, like I said before, we need a strong, need to have a strong, need to see a strong ground in the undergraduate classes before we can succeed with the master's program and bring it back.
Okay. Those are your candidates for academic affairs. Please give them a round of applause.